All right, hopefully you have your graphic organizer or a piece of paper in front of you so we can get started filling it out together. The first question, I don't have access to a printer, so I don't have the paper in front of me. I'm just looking at it at my computer screen that is right here, but you should be looking at the piece of paper. And the very first question is, what career did you choose? What job did you choose? So in that blank, I want you to write down what job it was that you chose. So if it's engineer, interior designer, whatever that is, I want you to write that in that first box. The next box says, what does the day-to-day of this job look like? So what I'm asking here, this question is, what does it look like to work this job? So if we're talking about an engineer, what does it look like every day when an engineer goes into work? What does their job entail? What kind of stuff are they working on? When you're filling out this graphic organizer today, I do not need to see complete sentences. I don't need to see things spelled correctly. This is just where you've done some research. All that information is in your brain. Now you're putting it down on paper in an organized way. Doesn't have to be neat or spelled correctly. All I request is that you write it neat enough that when you go back to look at it, you know what it is that you wrote, or we're kind of wasting our time here, right? So the first question is, what does the day-to-day of this job look like? From doing your research and from what you've learned, I want you to go ahead and fill out that box of what does the day-to-day of this job look like? What does a person in your career do during their job when they are at work? Now, if you don't know the answer to that question, this is a great time for you to do a little bit more research before you go ahead to the next slide. I would look up what does whatever your job is do. A lot of times if you are researching on the computer, one thing that can be helpful is if at the end of your search you type in for kids. Sometimes that will bring up some articles that are a little bit easier to read or some videos that are a little bit easier to understand. That's just my suggestion. But go ahead, fill out that question. What does the day-to-day of this job look like? And then when you are done, go ahead and come to the next slide.